We often underestimate the emotional capacity of children. We assume children don't feel things as deeply as adults do. But children grieve too. They just grieve differently. For example, they tend to step in and out of their grief. One moment, they may be sobbing, and the next, they might be playing happily. Children may also lack the words to communicate complex feelings. Instead, their grief can show up in their bodies through stomach pains, headaches, or other physical discomforts. They may even have nightmares or changes in behavior. To help children make sense of death, there are 5 key concepts they need to understand, which can help guide them through the grieving process. The first is universality. Children need to understand that death is a universal experience. Eventually, everyone will die. The second is the idea of irreversibility. As children start to understand that death is universal, they begin to understand that death is not reversible. Younger children will struggle more with this than older children and may still expect their loved one to come back or be existing somewhere else in the world. The third aspect of death that children need to work through is called non-functionality. They might be curious about what happens to a body after death, and younger children may ask things like, does grandma still go to the toilet? Can grandma still see? Or, does grandma still go to sleep all night? Older children who are more familiar with the implications of death may be more curious about physical processes such as decomposition, which can be challenging for grieving parents to address. Answer as honestly as you can, using concrete language. The fourth concept of death children need to understand is causality. Children, being naturally egocentric, may blame themselves for the death of their loved one, feeling guilt and distress. The last crucial concept about death that children need to understand is continuing bonds. This involves incorporating the memory of the person we miss into our lives. Think about how you can help children to honor and remember their loved one. When discussing these concepts, using concrete language is key. Avoid vague phrases like gone to a better place or moved on. Instead, gently but clearly, explain that the person has died. Children who have lost a parent may become preoccupied that their remaining parent is going to die. While it's important to acknowledge that everyone dies eventually, you can reassure them that you're currently healthy and safe. It can also be useful to ask children what they think has happened, what they understand about death, and what they're feeling. This provides an opportunity to correct any misunderstandings. For example, a child might mistakenly think they caused a parent's death. It's also crucial not to rely emotionally on your children, even though this can be hard to recognize if you're grieving too. This doesn't mean hiding your emotions. It's natural and healthy for children to see you sad. But try not to place them in a position where they feel responsible for your emotions. For instance, if a child finds you crying, you might say, "I'm sad because Daddy died. It's okay to cry and feel sad." Remember, supporting children through grief is about honesty, compassion, and allowing space for their feelings to come and go.